Good morning, good evening, guys, wherever you are in the world, and welcome to round 8 of the Nemesis Online Racing League Championship Project Cars 2 Formula C Championship here at the Red Bull Ring in Austria. And as per usual, to start us off, today we have a 5-minute dry qualifying session, and then after that 5-minute dry qualifying session we will have a 15-minute dry session. And then we will move into the spicy stuff where we will have mixed conditions. But that is way ahead of us as we speak. And I shall get well and truly into the current World Championship standings. So at the moment, coming into round 8 here at Austria, we have Nemesis Racing leading on 158 points. Mark on 128, Murcielago on 107, Chaz on 91, who missed the last race as he was busy off in Barcelona. VSR Blizzard is on 82 points, Ragnar is on 77, but he has left the league, I am aware, due to work commitments. We have Galactic Skull on 56, JFD on 30, Beamer Black on 29, Kadeshi on 26, Anil on 16, Kevin Jacobs on 13, Danny Bin Lahar on 13, and we have currently in the lobby Chazza, Beamer Black, VSR Blizzard, Anil Tanovic, JFD, Mark, Galactic Skull and Nemesis. So we have a couple more drivers than usual, which is good to see. But as we are watching currently on screen, the championship leader coming through the last corner, and as ever you've got to think of him as one of the favourites to take pole position. He's just starting his lap now, and this allows me my first opportunity to, well, when my YouTube loads, to say hello to the guys in the chat. Hello SGT, and thank you Kevin. It was a pity that the podcast yesterday had some internet issues, so that didn't quite work out yesterday. But thanks for tuning in to the podcast on Chaz's channel, and of course to all of his content on his channel. He does a very good job over there. Nemesis coming down through the downhill right-hander, very tricky corner. The cab can quite easily lead you off the circuit, as I think we've just seen in the background there with the car behind. I'm not entirely sure who that was, and I don't really want to scroll through because I could miss some action here, as Nemesis is coming up on the car behind. Sorry, coming up on a car in front of him. Not entirely sure who that is. As I assume we're going to start seeing a couple of times now as Nemesis comes through the second to last corner. Keeps it on the track. Looks like a very safe lap from Nemesis at the moment. We'll soon see if it is quick, but it's currently VSR Blizzard on provisional pole by a minute with a 1 minute 35.1. And Nemesis, what lap can he do? He does a 1:36.0. So currently on provisional pole we have VSR Blizzard, and as we've seen last week, he certainly has the pace to do that. He didn't even practice, and he was the quickest man last weekend. So last week he did a superb job, and I assume that he will once again be a strong contender here. It's going to be interesting to see if anyone is going to be able to beat him tonight. Of course he will have Nemesis, Mark, Murcielago and Chazza looking to dispose of him at the top. I'm gonna go with Mark, who is the car in front of Nemesis. So that's an interesting bit of information to know. So we have 16 seconds left here in this session, as Mark's just coming through the start of the third sector now, where we have the two fast right hand corners over the crest as we see Mark. Will he keep it on track in the second to last corner? Will he be able to improve on his time? Will he be able to take pole away from VSR Blizzard? He's certainly pushing it. That is for sure, as we seen him go off the track. But VSR Blizzard does a 1:33.8, and it certainly looks like he will take pole position. Or will I be wrong? Will Mark or Nemesis take pole from him? No, not quite. Nemesis does improve to 1:35.6, but that is not good enough to beat VSR Blizzard's rapid time of a 1:33.8. Quite an incredible lap there by VSR Blizzard, and I am sure that we will see his next lap in qualifying unless there are any issues. And I will just run through the grid once it pops up on the screen. And yes, we have VSR Blizzard on pole with a 1:33.8. Nemesis Racing in second, 1.8 seconds adrift. Mark in third, a further 6 tenths adrift. Then Chazza in fourth, Motriolago in fifth, and Altanovic in sixth, JFD in seventh, Beamer Black in eighth, and Galactic Skull in ninth. Now, I'm certainly looking forward to this race. It'll be interesting to see if anyone can really stop VSR Blizzard. Looks like he has some incredible pace here. So let's see if anyone can topple him indeed. As we're waiting ever so patiently for the lobby to load up and sync up, as we are about to go racing, and lights off and away we go. I haven't got a very good view, but VSR Blizzard does look like he's got a very good start compared to everyone else. Nemesis and Chazza and Mark, it's nearly four-way. It's nearly four, I can't even speak. But it's VSR Blizzard to come out on top, and everyone has come through turn one unscathed, which we have not seen in the past, so that is good to see. Looks like there's an almighty battle coming up in for third, as Mark tries to go around the outside of Chazza. Will he be able to make the move stick? It does look like he's going to be able to out-traction Chazza there. So we've got certainly a titanic battle, as now Chazza slips into the slipstream behind Mark, and will he be able to make a move down into the next corner? It looks like we have it's a three-way battle for this. Oh, it looks like Mark has been able to manage and come out on top of that, as Chazza did have a very good run with Altanovic just right behind him. But Nemesis is certainly applying the early pressure to VSR Blizzard. He's not letting him breathe, as the gap is just half a second. And same goes for Chazza, who was right behind Mark for third place. Camera focus, please. But it looks like VSR's ridiculously good. Oh, and it looks like he's got a little bit wide there, and it looks like Nemesis is in the lead of the race. Yes, he is. VSR Blizzard goes wide at the last corner and has lost the lead to Nemesis Racing. Just as I was saying, it looks like his qualifying pace isn't quite transitioning into race pace. He makes a mistake, and Nemesis Racing is up into first place ahead of VSR Blizzard, but he is certainly putting the pressure now on Nemesis coming down into turn 3. Is he going to look to go up the inside? He's got the ability to. Indeed he does. He goes up the inside of Nemesis quite comfortably, I must say. Nemesis looks for the cutback, and it looks like he might be able to get the move done down the inside. And this is certainly allowing Mark and Chazza to close in on the battle for first place. But Nemesis going down the inside, can he maintain his first position? It looks like he will be able to, but Blizzard is trying his best to go around the outside. Is he going to be able to? No, he doesn't. Nemesis covers it off, and now it looks like it's 3 wide as we're going to go down into the second sector. Nemesis, is he going to be able to keep his lead? We're going side by side nearly through every single corner here. Nemesis once again with the inside line, but VSR Blizzard looking to go around the outside. Is he going to be able to quite make the move stick? It looks like he has got a very good run, and will have the inside line for the next corner. But will Nemesis try to defend around the outside? Oh, as we're nearly 4 wide going into this corner. It's absolutely chaos here, and I'm sure these guys will try to make sure that there isn't any contact, but it looks like Mark and Chaz are both run wide, and that will cost them some time to Nemesis and VSR Blizzard. And VSR Blizzard did eventually come out on top of that battle, as Nemesis and VSR did seem to go side by side through every single corner that lap. That was in some insane racing that we just seen between those two, but VSR Blizzard already extending that gap to Nemesis nearly a second already after a couple of corners. Looks like Mark and Nemesis is now going to be the biggest battle coming up on track. But saying that, Nemesis did gain a lot of time in the braking zone, but then Mark is right up behind here. He's right up behind. Is he going to be looking to make the move down the inside of the chassis? He certainly can. Nemesis defends, sorry. Nemesis defends the inside, but it looks like Mark will go for the switchback as Nemesis does outbrake himself slightly, and this looks like it's going to allow, oh, there's a little bit of contact on my screen, but it looks like this is going to allow Mark to make the move on Nemesis. Nemesis defends the inside. Oh, it looks like a little bit of squeezing, but Mark should have this around the outside, but once again Nemesis down the inside and has managed to hold on to the position, but with the run down to the second to last corner, is he going to be able to keep hold of this spot? It remains to be seen. It looks like he is. Nemesis just had quite a good enough run. Is he going to make? I'm sure he's going to make sure he doesn't go too wide here, as Mark is looking to get past Nemesis. Not going to be able to quite manage it into turn 1, but into turn 2. Well, sorry, through turn 2 and into turn 3, the hairpin. He's going to be trying. He's getting in that slipstream. It looks like he's positioning himself to make a move. Is Nemesis going to defend? Yes, he is. He's going to defend the inside line. He's going to make Mark go the hard way around, and Nemesis quite comfortably does a little cheeky maneuver in the braking zone to cover off the outside and defend second place for the time being, as Mark once again gets a very good run on Nemesis coming out of the hairpin, but Nemesis strongly defending and aggressively defending as per usual, defending the inside against Mark, and it looks like he didn't make the same mistake. Oh, and there's been a little bit of contact there, and Mark's had a half little spin there. It's cost him a little bit of time to Nemesis, and now Chazza has closed up on him. But it looks like he went for the switchback again like he did the previous lap, but Nemesis was not going to let that happen and parked the car on the apex, and Mark just ran into the back of Nemesis. But as I mentioned, VSR Blizzard's pace is looking very, very strong here. He leads by 1.5 seconds over Nemesis, with Mark a little bit further behind, and then Chazza a little bit further behind Mark. As I'm finally able to catch my breath for the first time in this race, as we had a four-way battle for the lead. Some quite remarkable stuff, that is for sure. And now I'll head over to the chat. Danny Ibn Lahar is saying, "Hey Nib, how's it going? I'm doing very well. I just woke up in time for this. For whatever reason, my alarms before 7:30 weren't going off, or at least didn't wake me up, but the one at 7:30 did. So thankfully that alarm woke me up, and I am here commentating this morning for you." But VSR Blizzard certainly looking very comfortable out in the lead at the moment, and it looks like the battle that is going to rage on all race is between Nemesis and Mark, as Mark is starting to close in on the Italian, on his championship rival. He's certainly going to need to take every single point he can from Nemesis if he wants to put up a proper fight right to the end of the season. And on that note, it is such a shame that VSR Blizzard had so many dramas at the start of the season. Otherwise, he could very well be challenging for this championship. I don't think he really will be able to, with the amount of points that he has missed out on, as he has gone very wide through the last corner there, and that's surely going to allow Nemesis and Mark to catch up a little bit of time on him, but not too much. He's still very quick out of here in front. Still quick still quicker than Nemesis by a second on that lap. Oh, and Nemesis has gone wide in the background, I think. Yes, he has. And this is certainly going to allow Mark to get that run that he needs down into turn 3 and then down out of the hairpin into turn 4 to try and look to get the move done on Nemesis Racing. He gets a very good exit there, does Mark, as he's now tucked in the slipstream of Nemesis. Is it going to be powerful enough to make him able to be side by side coming into turn 4? No, not quite. Maybe the next lap. But Nemesis once again goes a little bit wide through that corner, and that's going to present Mark with an opportunity here to potentially go around the outside of Nemesis, because Nemesis, as usual, defends the inside line, but looks like Nemesis is just ahead here coming into turn 5. But Mark certainly looking the stronger of the two at the moment, but we know how good Nemesis is at defending. We've seen that in the last race, how very strong he was. But Mark with a terrific run through this corner. Is Nemesis going to be going to be able to hold on to second place? But Nemesis defends the inside very smartly, going to make Mark do all of the work going around the outside, and certainly you can't be overtaking around the outside into that corner. But now Mark, his main focus is going to be just getting a good run out of the last corner. And it looks like he's not really been able to do that. He got forced a little bit wide there. But now, Nemesis defending the inside whatsoever. Is Mark going to try and go around the outside? Or even throw it from a long way back down the inside into turn 1? No, not quite. He's going to wait to turn 3 to get the move done, if he is going to be able to get the move done, because it looks like he got caught on the curve ever so slightly there, and that's hindered his run down into turn 3. Because of course they count the kink as turn 2, so this is turn 3 that the drivers are going through right now. But Mark is right up the back of Nemesis, and surely the slipstream is going to be powerful enough to get the move done. He's certainly going to be alongside going into the braking zone. Will Mark be finally able to pull off the move on Nemesis? Nemesis defends aggressively once again. Mark looks for that switchback. Nemesis is a little bit more aware to it, but it looks like he's just not had a good enough run. There was a little bit contact between the two drivers, and Mark is through up in the second place, and it looks like Nemesis shaped for a dive bomb into turn 5, but nothing doing there. That would have been absolutely mental. But it looks like Mark is now through into second, which is very important for the championship. He needs to be gaining every single point possible on Nemesis, but sadly I'm sure Mark would prefer VSR Blizzard to be in second and Mark be in first, as then he would be gaining a lot more points on Nemesis. But it doesn't look the battle is over, as Nemesis was absolutely superb through the last sector there, and is now all over the back of Mark coming down into turn 1. Is he going to make the move? Mark defends the inside as Nemesis is going to go around the outside. Is he going to be able to make the move? No, he's not quite, but it looks like Mark does run wide, and that's going to give Nemesis the superior run coming out of the corner down into turn 3. Is Nemesis going to take vengeance on Mark? Is he going to get his second place back? He has the inside line. Mark is going to have to go around the outside here. Looks like they're very even into that braking zone. Oh, Nemesis squeezes Mark off the track. And that looks like that will be it coming into, certainly going down this straight. I don't think Mark will have the good enough run, as Nemesis squeezed Mark off the track as Mark looked to go side by side through turn 3. But once again, Mark is so much stronger through turn 4. That Nemesis, that is certainly the part of the track where he seems stronger than Nemesis. But the reason why Nemesis is ahead is it looks like Mark did go a little bit wide through the last and then the first corner, and that has gifted Nemesis the chance to be back in second place. But once again, we've seen Mark very strong through this part of the track before, and once again, sadly, non-overtaking opportunity as Nemesis defends the inside. Because if you go side by side through there, you are pretty much mental. But Nemesis looks like he went a little bit wide there, but so did Mark, as VSR Blizzard extends his gap at the front to 6.6 seconds. A dominant performance so far, but we are fully focused here on the battle for second place between the championship rivals, between Nemesis and Mark. And it looks like Mark has got a very good run, and he's finally got the inside line down into turn 3. Will he be able to make it stick? Down the inside. Oh, looks like Nemesis giving him a good old squeeze, but Mark has the inside line. Is he going to be able to slow it down in time? Oh, Nemesis with a superb little switch back there on Mark. And Nemesis has maintained P2 for the time being. Brilliant defending there by the Italian. That is superb racing. Superb. Knew that Mark was going to be eager as he finally got the inside line. Didn't really know the braking performance he'd have going down the inside, and Nemesis took full advantage of that and swept underneath him. Brilliant defensive driving here by Nemesis, but he still has another lap after this, that is for sure, as this is going to be the penultimate lap of the Grand Prix, or certainly of the first race. It's going to be very key to see Nemesis get a good run through the... Sorry, Mark get a good run through those last couple of corners. But it doesn't, looks like they've got a fairly even run, and now the gap is out to half a second. It's going to take a little bit of a mistake or some superb driving from Mark to close the gap, and it looks like Mark has had a very good run through turn 1 as we head down towards turn 3 up the hill here at Austria. Oh, as VSL Blizzard had a spin up ahead. I think he might have. I just heard. Oh, Jesus, I nearly left the session there. That's not what you want, but look, VSR Blizzard did have a little spin up ahead, and he has a penalty. I wonder if that penalty is going to be enough for Nemesis to win the race, or will it be Mark, who is challenging him for the second place here? It doesn't look like Mark will be able to do anything about it quite into this corner, but Nemesis runs a little bit wide, and that presents Mark the opportunity to go down the inside. But now he's going to have the outside line for the next corner, which is certainly going to be very tough, as Nemesis always defends it. Oh, and there's a little bit of contact as Nemesis always defends the inside line, as I was just about to say, and both of them run into the gravel. Oh, dearie me, if one of them had stayed out of the gravel there, they would have pretty much secured P2. But Mark with a terrific run as ever out of that corner, but he can't really do anything with it because Nemesis defends the inside. Oh, Mark, is he going to dive it up the inside? No, it looked he was shaping for it. He did a little Fernando Alonso cheeky look up the inside to make you just think about it. But has Mark got a better run than Nemesis? It looks like as we come towards the line, it's got to be neck and neck between Nemesis and Mark. Who has got it? It's got to be Mark. Mark has stolen P2 on the line from Nemesis. Oh, dearie me. Oh, Nemesis is going to be kicking himself there. He defended oh so valiantly and oh so brilliantly throughout that race against Mark, and then for Mark to take it on the run up to the line, he is going to be absolutely fuming with himself. Wowee, what a display of driving we've seen between those two, and indeed between VSR Blizzard and Chazza at the start of this race. That is what we like to see here in Project Cars 2 on Formula C. And that was certainly a very dramatic first race. But finishing up the order. Oh, Mark has won by 1/100th of a second, but VSR Blizzard takes a dominant victory, even though he did have a spin at the final turn 3 on the last lap. He managed to get the victory, but VSR Blizzard wins. Second from Mark, third is Nemesis, fourth is Chazza, fifth is Murcielago at his home race, Galactic Skull in sixth, and JFD in seventh. But it looks like Anna Latanovic and Beamer Black have disconnected or decided to leave, so I'm not entirely sure what the go is here. Where's my water? There we go. Alright, I don't have to run off today, so if you want to ask any questions in the chat, go ahead. Whether it's looking forward to Sunday night's race around Barcelona in the Historic League, which quite a few of you will be taking part in the chat. But good to see that we have Anel Tanovic, and I'm sure that we're soon going to have Beamer Black in for race 2, of course, in the mixed conditions, the random weather. Chaz is saying, my race was basically 3 laps. Well, yep, until the guys ahead pulled away and stopped battling as much. Yep, indeed. Mark the GOAT. He certainly did a very good drive there. He should have definitely pulled away from Nemesis there, but Nemesis defended so brilliantly and stayed with him, and for Mark to get past on the final corner on the run up to the line is superb. Galactic Skull saying this race or that race was shit, and of course that is no surprise, as he's made it very vocal in the chat that he does not like this track whatsoever. I'm not entirely sure how you don't like this track. I absolutely love it. Of course I did win here in the F1 2018 game, but of course each to their own. As we are just about to load into the session for the 5-minute qualifying session in random weather, and of course the most random weather of all on Project Cars, heavy rain. So it's certainly going to throw up a new challenge to drivers, but for this qualifying session we're going to be on board with VSR Blizzard. I'm sure he's going to have the pace to be able to take pole position in this race, but is he going to be able to keep on track? That has certainly been one of his issues throughout the season. He could have taken pole on several occasions, but has just not been able to put the lap together. So we're going to see if he's going to be able to do that here today at the Red Bull Ring in Austria. Did we get Beamer Black into the session? No, it doesn't look like it. So I'm quite unfortunate that Beamer Black didn't manage to rejoin. As who was that in front? Is that Shazza or Galactic Skull? Who was it? Who was it warming up his tyres very aggressively? That's Murcielago. I should know by now, but I'm hopeless. And I did only wake up about half an hour ago, so that helps. Just trying to see if any of the drivers are struggling on the outlap. Oh, and speaking of struggling, that is VSR Blizzard into the wall. He's going to be very lucky that damage is not on, but as we were saying, going to be interesting to see. Oh, and he dives up the inside of Nemesis off the outlap, and it's Nemesis offline. Didn't quite hit him into the gravel or anything, but interesting. VSR Blizzard quite clearly wanting that track position. Good evening to you, Toby. Thankfully, I woke up just in time for the race, as my sleeping pattern has been rather messed up since Monday morning. But of course, we are watching VSR Blizzard here in the super duper mega heavy rain here at Austria, to see if he's going to be able to hold it together on this lap and take that pole position in the mixed conditions. So he did run a little bit wide coming out of turn 3 there. And of course he has the Austrian of Murcielago in front of him, who potentially could impede, as VSR Blizzard certainly does look like he's catching up. Oh, and VSR Blizzard nearly loses out that corner again. Looks like he nearly lost the rear end on that exit curb. So now come through turn 5 here, and now very shortly into turn 6. It looks like a very clean lap for VSR Blizzard, except for that moment so far. He lands a little bit wide, but he will get away with that. He certainly will get away with that, as he's running down now towards the last 2 corners, the fast right-handers. Is he going to be able to make it stay on track? Just about, I say. But he certainly doesn't keep it on track in the last corner. Is that going to be enough for VSR Blizzard to put himself on provisional pole? Yes, it is, by 1.6 seconds over Murcielago. Is Nemesis... Oh, Nemesis 8 thousandths behind. But then it is Mark. Mark just goes, oh yeah, see those laps you said? I'm going to go a second quicker, and indeed he does. Mark sets a 142.6 ahead of VSR Blizzard's 143.7, but it looks like he might be held up by Murcielago on his second lap here. And then Nemesis 8 thousandths further back of VSR Blizzard on a 143.731. But VSR Blizzard, I don't think he will improve here, as he is getting held up by Murcielago. There's just nothing you can do about that. Using the slipstream, I'm going to try go around the outside of Murcielago. Certainly takes a very wide line into the corner, but these two battling, and now there's been some contact, and that's certainly not what you want in your qualifying. As the qualifying countdown begins, as we have now gone past our allocated 5 minutes, as we are now just waiting for the drivers to finish their respective laps. But currently it is Mark on provisional pole. Will anyone be able to beat him? I doubt the VSR Blizzard will be able to beat him after he was held up by Murcielago on this lap, but that certainly isn't going to stop VSR Blizzard from trying as he comes through the last corner, pushing absolutely as hard as he can, using every little part of the track that he possibly can. Is he going to improve on his 143.7? Oh, he does indeed, and is only a 10th off Mark. But is Nemesis going to be able to improve now? No, not quite, but it is Mark, of course. Mark improves and takes a crucial pole position in the title fight, with Nemesis ahead of VSR Blizzard and ahead of Nemesis. Very, very important pole position in the heavy super duper mega rain here at the Red Bull Ring. The rain from the mountains has come, and it is absolutely bucketing it down, and that has not stopped Mark from taking pole position by 0.6 of a second over VSR Blizzard. 9 tenths ahead of Nemesis, 1.5 off Mark in P3, and then just a couple of tenths behind is Chazza in P4, Murcielago in P5. In P6 it is Galactic Skull 2, in 7th is Anel Tanovic, and in P8 is JFD. Gaming now saying Rainmaster kind of lap. Wonder if this will carry into the race. Well, we certainly don't have the wet weather that we had in qualifying. It is a dry race, and I'm not sure if that is the best news for Mark. He was certainly quick in that race, but I'm sure if it was wet, he would be able to take more of an advantage. As of course we are just waiting and waiting for the lobby to sync up, and for those 5 lights to go out, and then we will be underway, as they are about to be underway, and we are racing, and lights out, and the way we go, and it looks like Mark has got... Oh, there's been some major contact there, and Murcielago is off in the background, but it looks like VSR Blizzard has taken the lead from Mark out of the first lap, and looks like Nemesis has had a poor start. He's down to the P5. Oh dear, what has happened to Nemesis at the further back? He's side by side with Anel Tanovic, and Chazza are going 3 wide. Oh, there's some contact there between him and Chazza. Oh, and Anel Tanovic throwing it up the inside of Nemesis. There is some contact, but Nemesis looks like he's come out unscathed as they're going 3 wide down into turn 3. But it certainly looks like it's not going to be the end of the pressure that Nemesis is going to face. He's got Anel Tanovic right up behind him. Is Anel going to make a move? No, not quite. But Nemesis does outbrake himself. Was that going to allow Anel to make a move? No, not quite. But Chazza right behind him is battling very hard with Murcielago, and that certainly looks like where where Nemesis is going to end up having that battle with. But quite a poor start from Mark here on the first lap. He was already in second place by the time we got into turn 1. As I must say, Chazza and
Murcielago going side by side through nearly every corner in the background. But Chazza now just ahead, going down into the second to last corner. Is he going to be able to keep it? Oh, as Andel Tanovic has got 1,000,000 miles wide there. Jesus Lord. And somehow he hasn't cut across the front wing of Murcielago there. But we have Chazza and Murcielago side by side. But Chazza does have the inside line down into turn 1. Is he going to be able to make the move down on the brakes into turn 1? It looks like he is indeed. But will Murcielago be able to get a better run? It looks like he is. He's going to have the inside line now for turn 3. As we are certainly having a chaotic start to this race. But it is Murcielago with the inside line, and I don't think Chazza is going to really try too much here, as he did try the switchback, but looks like he got caught on the curb ever so slightly, and that means Chazza is not going to get past Murcielago. Don't know what I turned into there. Full P6, but we're going to go back to Galactic Skull 2 and JFD, as Galactic Skull looking to go down the inside of JFD, but nothing doing there at the moment for the Scot. But VSR Blizzard, one performance so far. 3 minutes in, and he already has a 2-second lead to Mark, and then Nemesis a further second back behind Mark. But we're going to go back to this battle between Murcielago and Chazza. Certainly looks like the closest victory. Oh, sorry, closest victory. Closest battle on circuit at the moment. Oh, Murcielago does go a little bit deep into turn 1. That's going to allow Chazza surely to put him under pressure on the brakes into turn 3. Where is Chazza going to go? Is he going to go down the inside? Is he going to go around the outside? Murcielago defends the outside ever so strangely, and that should allow Chazza to just dive up the inside. No, not quite. Okay. Oh, but Murcielago does go over the exit curbs and AstroTurf, as my body is malfunctioning there, which is certainly going to allow Chazza to get a good run, but doesn't look like it's going to be enough. Down into turn 4, but Chazza didn't try and move down the inside, but Murcielago once again has run a little bit wide there, and Chazza's looking to pounce as we see his car swerve ever so dramatically. Going to try and go around the outside of Murcielago here. Is he going to be able to make it move? Oh yes, he is around the outside of Murcielago, but he still has to make the move. Yes, he does. Chazza with a brilliant move there on Murcielago around the outside, not once but twice. And that has moved him up into P5, but the battle which we've seen so much in race 1 is heating up once again for P2 between Mark and Nemesis. As Nemesis has been closing the gap here on Mark. But after 5 minutes of racing, the gap for VSR Blizzard is 4 seconds already. Being very dominant here is VSR Blizzard. But it looks like Chazza and Murcielago, further behind, are still battling away. Well, but we will go to the more important battle in the championship battle between Mark and Nemesis. It looks like Nemesis had got a good run out of that corner as I've seen the gap, but we'll go back to Chazza and Murcielago as they are about to go side by side. Is Murcielago going to throw it up the inside of Chazza? Yes, he is indeed. Goes a little bit wide. Looks like they nearly got stuck on each other there, which is not what you want, but thankfully no sort of contact, major contact, which sent anyone spinning. As Chazza, is he going to go up the inside here of Murcielago? No, he thinks better of it. Murcielago might run a little bit wide there. No, he hasn't. So that means Murcielago moves up into P5 once again ahead of Chazza. We'll keep an eye on that battle, but the main eye will be on Mark versus Nemesis. It looks like Nemesis did get a bit of a better run through that last corner compared to Mark, which you could call a second home race for him. If there isn't even a race in the Netherlands in this championship, I don't know. I haven't quite looked that far ahead, but Mark did run wide on the exit of turn 1, and Nemesis looking to pounce here, running into turn 3. Mark defends the inside line, but Nemesis, he's waited and waited, and he's going to chuck it down the inside into turn 3. Oh, and there's some contact there as Nemesis kind of recklessly threw it down the inside of Mark there. It did look like he was too far back, and there was contact between the two, but Mark has maintained. Oh, and Nemesis dives from a long way back there on Mark. Oh, and Versar Blizzard's gone spinning off, and Nemesis has taken full advantage of it. He slipped down the inside of Versar Blizzard and has taken first place out of nowhere. Mark was ahead, and Nemesis dove down the inside very, very aggressively, and he's taken full advantage of Versar Blizzard's spin there. We've seen Versar Blizzard spin out of there in qualifying, and he has done it once again. But it looks like Mark are trying to apply as much pressure as he can to his championship rival, and indeed the championship leader, as it looks like we're going to have a three-way battle for the lead for the remainder of this race, as we have everyone following in each other's slipstream. But it looks like Versar Blizzard is the closest to making a move out of any of these three, but Mark covers him off. Oh, and Mark goes down the inside, and there's been contact between the two, between Nemesis and Mark. Oh dear, I'm not entirely sure what happened there. It looked like Mark went for a move on Nemesis. It looked like it was a bit laggy on my screen. But as Mark and Versar Blizzard are squabbling over each other, Nemesis is going to look to pounce behind them. But it looks like Versar Blizzard around the outside is going to be able to have the advantage here into this corner. But not quite. Mark has come out on top so far, but Nemesis is just looking to pounce like he did beforehand but Versar Blizzard with a superior run around the outside, and Nemesis trying to go around down the inside. Oh, and there's been some major contact, and Mark has gone spinning off. Nemesis went onto the grass, trying to get past Versar Blizzard and Mark, and it has ended in major contact, and Mark has gone spinning off. It looks like Nemesis went for a gap which wasn't quite there and hit Mark off. That's certainly what it looked like on my screen. I'm not sure what it looked like on his screen, but it'll be interesting to get your guys' thoughts in the chat. But that is absolutely crucial in the championship battle. That is a crucial moment which we will look back on at the end of the season and think that is certainly a moment where the title could have gone out of Mark's reach here, as he's going to have to do an incredible drive to get P3, but he isn't too far behind Anel, Chaza and Murcielago, who have overtaken Anel for P4. But Versar Blizzard seems rattled after the mistake he's made. He's going wide everywhere. He's gone wide in the second last corner, the last corner, and now into turn 1, but Nemesis isn't quite there to capitalise on the move. But we've seen him make some very late and audacious moves down the inside as of late, and it looks like he's trying to get a good run, but just got caught on the AstroTurf there and has not been able to make a good move. But we have a three-way battle for third place, as we got Murcielago, Chaza and Anel Tanovic. I'm not sure where the camera is looking. We want to be looking at the cars, as we have Chaza going down the inside of Murcielago with Anel lurking in the background. And Chaza has moved up into P3 ahead of Murcielago, and now we have Mark looming in the background. He'll be certainly a man on a mission to get what he will feel his at least P3 back. But I'm sure Chaza, Murcielago and Anel will be looking to have their say about that. They won't be making it easy for him, but Mark, as Chaza and Murcielago is squabbling here, has closed the gap significantly and is now about a second behind. But Murcielago going down the inside of Chaza in the second to last corner, and now we're going to see... Oh, Mark has hit the back of Anel Tanovic as it looks like he is caught off guard by how early Anel Tanovic braked. But Chaz is able to defend for the time being as Murcielago launched an attack through the second to last corners in the last sector, which is very, very unusual. But Murcielago looks like he's gone a little bit wide there, and that will allow Anel and Mark to gain and gain and gain. As they're going to be 3 wide down here into turn 3. Will Mark, with the inside line, be able to make the move on Anel and Murcielago? It looks like they have gone deep. Oh, and Mark has gone spinning again! Oh, no! It's absolute disaster here for the Dutchman. What an absolute disaster. We didn't see the contact because the camera was looking to Narnia. But Mark has gone spinning once again, and oh dearie me. But he will not... This is double pain as Nemesis has taken the lead ahead of VSR Blizzard, but VSR Blizzard has managed to make them to reclaim first place around the outside of Nemesis. It's absolute disaster here for Mark. Absolute disaster, as there was contact with either Murcielago or Anel. Oh, I assume that's what made him spin, as he went spinning at turn 3, as he was looking to go down the inside of Anel Tanovic and Murcielago at turn 3, but he got spun around, and that is not what you want when you're going for a championship battle with the ever consistent Nemesis Racing, as Mark is in P6. But we'll go further back to Murcielago and Anel, who of course have been battling all race long. Oh, and did Chazza just run off the road there? It looked like Chazza ran off the road there. I'm not entirely sure what happened. I wasn't fully paying attention, but Chazza defends the inside as Murcielago got ever closer. And now surely Murcielago, it looks like he's got a very good exit, and with the slipstream, it looks like he might be able to make a move down into turn 4 here. But saying that, Anel is very close, but Murcielago trying to make the move around the outside of Chazza. He looks like he might be able to make the move. Sticking indeed. Oh, he goes a little bit wide and onto the grass, and nearly spinning off into Anel Tanovic there. But because he went a little bit wide, Chazza has kept third place, but Anel is trying to take that 4th place away from Murcielago, and it looks like might try to go down the inside here. No, he certainly thinks better if it does the Bosnian there. He doesn't want to cause any unnecessary contact, as there will be one more lap after this current lap. As it looks like we're going to have a titanic battle for 3rd, or at least 4th place in this race. Doesn't look like Anel got really that great of a run on Murcielago. Doesn't look like he'll be able to challenge him down into turn 3, but if he gets a good enough run out of the exit, the hairpin here, I'm sure he will be looking to make a move down into turn 4 on Murcielago. It looks like he's got a pretty average run, and Murcielago might have even got a little bit better of a run than him here. Doesn't look like Anel will be able to make his way past Murcielago, but our eyes will turn to the front, where VSR Blizzard has a 2nd lead over Nemesis coming into the final 2 corners. Will he be able to hang on to this race win after we saw him spin off on the exit of turn 4, which gave the lead at the time to Nemesis, and then eventually Mark, but it is VSR Blizzard who completes the clean sweep. Well, they're both race victories here ahead of Nemesis in second place, who's taken vital points off his championship lead after there was contact between the two, certainly, and then further contact with Murcielago or Analtanovic, which has sent Mark spiralling down the order into P6. He's managed to get past Galactic Skull on the last lap, but that has certainly been a very disappointing race too for Mark, as it looked like everything was going up for him. He took the pole, but he had a poor start, and oh dear. But that is race 2 over here at round 8 of the championship here at the Red Bull Ring in Spielberg. So we have VSR Blizzard winning ahead of Nemesis. And then we have Chazza in third, Murcielago in fourth, Anel Tanovic in fifth. A good performance there by Anel, backing up a strong performance in the historic league after he made many mistakes but still won the race. Mark in sixth, Galactic Skull in seventh, and GFD in eighth. And Chazza just informing us that he went off the track because he was looking at the stream. You blithering idiot. Look at the racetrack. You idiot. Oh dearie me. But that concludes everything from me here at round 8 of the championship, which has been certainly a very good night for Nemesis. He might have lost out as on the way to the line of Mark in race 1, but Mark, he had contact with Nemesis. Looks like Nemesis hit him off at turn 1, and then there was some further contact, and Nemesis took advantage of VSR Blizzard spinning off, but only for VSR Blizzard to take P1 back. And then Mark had further contact with Murcielago or Anel Tanovic, it looked like. Didn't quite capture it because of the camera angle, which sent him spiraling further down the grid behind Galactic Skull into P7, but he managed to get some further points back into P6. But that will be it, folks, and thank you for joining me for round 8 of the championship here. Certainly a round which we could look back at and say this is where Mark lost any opportunity of winning the championship over Nemesis. But it has been me, Niblo, and I will see you guys later. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful evening, day, wherever you are in the world. Ciao.